Greetings everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm your host Captain Rye and today we'll be continuing our Let's Play Life is Feudal Forest Village Episode 3. And to be honest, this is going to be the last episode in what I'm going to call my pre-season season, if you will. And there are a couple of reasons for that. Mainly, since this video was recorded, the game has changed significantly. The developers have been putting in a lot of time and effort in order to improve the stability of the game so that it doesn't crash nearly as often. It pretty much used to crash every 20 to 40 minutes like clockwork, and now much more stable. More importantly, they've added a bunch of new things to it, and they've changed some of the way the resource consumption works, as well as some of the AI modeling about how far they're willing to go to get those resources. So the end result is that the footage that's here is significantly different to anything that would come out after it. As a result, I think that I'll just go ahead and end this Life is Feudal Forest Village pre-season, and we'll come back to it formally with probably the next update or two, major update or two, and start again. But hopefully this is enough for you that you are interested in the game and maybe want to, go and pick it up and take a look at it. The villagers here are working diligently now that it's too cold to replant fields, but it's not quite winter. My villagers are tasked with going to collect more stone, iron, hay, pretty much just any resources off in the distance there. Especially wood. Wood is always the important resource, and it's always the resource I seem to run short of more often than anything. Once you get an iron mine and a stone mine established, wood is the thing that always seems to run out. Because once you've got the iron and stone mine, you don't actually have to go very far to get those resources. You just plop them down, preferably near to a storage barn, and assign 1 or 2 or 3 people during the winter months to sit there and mine all winter, and they do that, and it's fantastic, and they just accumulate. I've tasked them with building this house now, and of course, as you can see, I'm lacking a lot of resources needed. And the reason I want to get this house up is pretty straightforward. I've hit my population cap of 11, I believe, or 15, and I'm doing pretty well, yes. Oh yeah, okay, so I've hit the population cap of 10. And I'm in a position with 2 fields, an orchard on the way, that I can go ahead and I can support more people. And increasing the population by basically double right now would be okay, I think. I've got a hunter's lodge on the way up, so again, it should be fine. We should be okay if we decided to do that. Fortunately, the new change to the game is they won't all go out at once and suddenly have a crap ton of children. The length of time between new kids is a little bit more spaced out now, so I won't end up with 10 new children over the winter if that house was built. It'll actually take them, a year or 2 to hit that population cap, which is fantastic. I love that that change has been made. One of the other changes that's been made is now they have a couple of cosmetic items. The biggest cosmetic item that they added was walls. Specifically, you could add wood palisades and gates. Kind of make yourself a little walled-off village, protect from wild animals. That I have no idea if the wild animals will actually not spawn inside your palisade, or if it's just for show. Hopefully, maybe that's something that'll happen. or is something that is a thing, and I just don't build the walls because there's no point. The other thing that they added was a mid-size stone wall, and the cool thing about both of these items is that you can build them on slopes. Specifically, you can build them on very steep slopes, which means, as I was saying in other videos, you can now level the terrain, and if the slope is particularly steep, you can actually build one of these stone walls and make it look as though you've created a stone retaining wall. And it looks amazing. And you can put them on the angles, and you can put an end piece if you want. The whole thing looks absolutely amazing. So, kudos to them. I did finally have a village hit in-game or late-game content in which I built a dock, built a ship, stocked the ship, and sent it out. And the exploration mechanic it's a little wonky. You don't actually send anybody out. The ship is like, it's an autopilot ship. It's very, very weird. And it comes back and it brings back one item. One of the things that I'd like to see in the future is to see, you know, if you have a port, if you have a dock, other ships coming to visit you and having visitors arrive and perhaps some kind of trade or economy. And I could see a multiplayer option ability come up like that in the future. You know, not necessarily have to have any kind of combat mechanic, but maybe give you a reason to research town guards and have somebody assigned to, you know, a watchtower or position in case there's pirate raiders, or you just have, you know, the AI visitors come in and decide that they're going to go ahead and cause trouble while they try and steal your chickens. I did finally figure out how chicken coops work and what my problem has always been. Chicken coops, basically you get one free chicken when you put the coop down, and if the chicken dies, you don't get any more chickens out of that coop. You have to destroy it and restart, which I think is kind of retarded. It's a little stupid, and if you're not prepared for it, if you don't have a hunter's lodge and an area completely devoid of predators, they'll come out there. But now the predators' line of sight is a lot shorter, so they will not go out of their way to attack your chicken coops unless they're basically already on them. Again, changes, so many changes to the game and its development. The other big change that they've added as far as resources. Villagers will now travel further to get resources out of things like storage barns and store warehouses. So this was a problem that existed with previous villages, where I would have a store warehouse that was full of tools and iron ingots and, you know, all the things that they needed to build a house, and they just would not go down and get it because it was half a kilometer away or half a mile or whatever. Well, but you have them. So now they will travel further to get those resources. Looks like the winter harvesting was relatively successful, and the building for a lot of these different buildings is coming along. The herbalist's hut, the hunter's cabin, the gatherer's hut. I've got a lot back over there. All coming together, and the house as well. But of course, everything is taking its time, because I do have, well, a decided lack of resources. What I should have done, and what I've done on other playthroughs of the same spawn, is there's actually an iron, or there's a stone, a huge stone main right next to that storage barn in my farms. And in previous playthroughs I've gone and I plopped a storage stone mine down there, and it's been an invaluable source of stone early on in the game. The other reason that I'm going to end this playthrough is that this particular map seed is not as good as the one I found. I actually came across another map seed, and if you're interested, if you do play this game, the map seed is 429-2015. And it is a beautiful map, small plains, and the map seed itself is just fantastic. It's a great starting location, lots of flat area, great to expand and all that jazz. It looks like my workers have managed to assemble all the supplies needed to build that house. And before the video ends, I've tasked my builders to start constructing it. But, of course, in the end, we won't get to see it finished. It is, however, a beautiful looking house. I kind of wish they'd add a little bit more variety to the houses. I do look forward to seeing some of these buildings be upgradable, as they have the little upgrade icon, and I'd really like to upgrade those storage barns and warehouses, those fishing lodges, to see the shingled roof as opposed to the thatched roof, so that everything looks nice and uniform when it's all said and done, and everything can be upgraded and pretty. Oh, and we are coming to the end of the video, and that's it. If you like the video, hit that like and subscribe button. Check out my World of Warships content, and you can hit the like button and follow me on Facebook. And if you'd like to support the channel, check out the link to the Patreon, all in the description down below. This is Captain Rye, signing off.